Now what happened? It's always something with you, isn't it?
Welcome to another video. Yeah, somebody decided to give me a present. Another Blue Monday. What are you going to do, right? And there's been a lot of times where I don't say anything about some of the stuff I'm dealing with, and I think that's smart because sometimes they like to get that attention. They like to get that reaction. So there's things I've never told you guys about, and I probably never will. I don't know. I might wait. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll wait and then I'll bring it up, like a year later. Sometimes I'll be talking to some of my friends. And they'll be like, "Is something going on? Maybe I'll tell you later." And they're like, "Oh, I get it." And then a year later, I'll tell them. You don't want to get a reaction, and you want to feel everything out. But this time, I figured I'd go ahead and make a video with this one because, I mean, it's been one thing after another. I'm not going to start complaining. There's a lot of things to be thankful for, and I appreciate God's grace in my life. Things could always be worse, and I think it's important to realize that no matter what comes at you, and it's easier said than done though, because things do have a tendency to accumulate as a target. But last night or early sometime this morning, somebody decided to smash my passenger window in. Yeah, glass all over the place. And I noticed on my security camera, I don't know, it's about halfway through, I said, that looks a little odd, because I don't know, probably about 25, 30 feet away from it. And I'm thinking, either something's casting a shadow or that window's toast. And so I went up and, of course, glass all over the place. And they hit it pretty good. Doesn't appear that they stole anything, kind of classic. And, of course, the first thing you're thinking of, wow, what was on the security camera footage, man? It was erased. Okay, that's the most bizarre aspect of the attack. Of course, I've had that happen before, right? And I talked about that. I think it was in 2023 that I was cleaning some stuff off in the front yard, and I went around to turn the water off because the hose is connected to the front house. I'm in the back, in a little and a half address. Those are better than apartments, but you still have problems because they've got the water shut off and all kinds of other little games that can be played, you know. But whatever. And I noticed the door was open. I came right around the corner. We're talking like 15 seconds or something. And the door was open, and I thought, well, I must have forgot to shut it. Luckily, I put the cat in her little dealie, and so she didn't get out. And I closed it. I went back to work and cleaning off the air conditioner and so on and so forth, and went to turn the hose off again, came around the corner, and the door was open again. I thought, oh, games are fun. Well, I'll do what I got to do, and we'll see what's on the footage. So I put the air conditioner in the window, did all I had to do, and then I went over, and I guess they hacked it Bluetooth or whatever, and they set it back, took the video footage of the front door in the front yard, and that was gone. And I'm like, what the hell, And so I called up the Night Owl security system company, and they're like, well, you got Bluetooth on it, so somebody probably. And I'm like, wow. So it was like a coordinated effort. They waited until I walked around to the other side of the building, and they had somebody open the door, and they also got rid of the video footage. And target individuals talk about that all the time. There's no sense of getting a camera because and they do, but you still don't want to make it easy for them. You don't. You want them to work. I don't care if they can do it or not. And of course, the footage was gone. It was erased all the way back to the 6th, completely gone on all the cameras. And it's frustrating. But what are you going to do? And it's going to cost me some cash. And it's just been one thing after another. This has been an expensive. It's been an expensive year for the doc, and it's that's one of the things that targets deal with, man. The harassment is one thing, but they'll do things to you to where you've got all these ordeals and you're trying to keep up with everything. In fact, I think I was talking about that with Mats and Miles in the comments on the live the other night is that you get broken down and you're dealing with all this stuff and then things heap up, things accumulate. It's that wonderful game of Jenga that targets play, but it's a process of accumulation, and things mount up, and you can never get ahead, and it's that sense of injustice, that sense of frustration. I've heard about different attack methodologies that targeted individuals will deal with involving assaults on their personal property, little ordeals and things that cost money, incremental attacks to demoralize and cause financial destitution and stuff like that. Unfortunately, for targeted individuals, that methodology is very effective, and it not only does it break you down mentally, but it causes financial issues. And targets are dealing with workplace harassment, dealing with a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of targets who end up homeless, and it is what it is. Um, I provide this channel for my own benefit in the sense that I get to connect with you guys and I get to communicate to people who are dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with. I get to help people. I try to bring awareness to the methods and tactics of gang stalking and some of the stuff that targets are going to deal with and the mind games. And I also enjoy ruining the fun of the stalkers because they love to play with your head. Oh, they love it. And I do that for free. I do that because I enjoy it. However, I do have a donation link for GoFundMe, and I would appreciate anybody that help me out. I've reached out for help a couple times before when I had COVID for 3.5 months, and when I got into a vehicle accident, a no-fault accident. And if you can help, I would appreciate it. Like I said, I do this for free, and it would really piss them off because they know it's going to set me back. And I've already spent around $2,000 this year, and I haven't talked about that stuff because I don't want to mention it. I don't want to feed the monster. And so we're approaching, damn near $2,500 already this year of stuff that I'm not even going to mention. And it is what it is. Like I said, I do this for free. I do it because I care. I do it because it helps me. But every now and again, I will ask for help. There's a GoFundMe link in the description, and that's all I'm going to mention about that. We're going to go on to talk about this method of gang stalking that I think a lot of targets deal with, because it's there to shake you up. It's there to rattle the cage and create apprehension and paranoia and rumination in targets. It's classic for targets to be dealing with something. And I've mentioned before that your stalking can change. A lot of times it'll mellow out, right, for a lot of reasons. I've talked about that, where sometimes they're just looking at you to see what you're going to do, to see if you're going to step out, to see how much the things that they have done to you have traumatized you, how long it's going to take you to heal, how long you're going to ruminate about it, what's going to happen to you socially and financially, and so on and so forth. But it's also to get you in a place where you're on that emotional roller coaster. And the main purpose or objective of that is to get you in a state of pessimism and a place where you're, basically expecting this stuff. And it just makes it that much more intense when it happens, right? It's like some of the things that targets are sensitized to. This is that kind of stuff you might not have even noticed it before, but now that you've been attacked with it or whatever. It's just when you thought everything was mellowed out, just when you started to find homeostasis, and bam, they come out with that. And I've mentioned before that for that emotional manipulation, it's crucial that they take you on this roller coaster. Some targets believe it's over. They might wait a while because you're bracing for the attack. You've been sensitized to the point of desensitization, and it's just not affecting you. It's not affecting you in the way that they want it to. One of the blessings of people attacking your personal property and stuff like that is that it costs money. And there's no getting out of that. There's no getting out of the frustration that is caused by a financial setback, especially for somebody like me who's crippled. I'm barely putting money away. I'm working full time, and there's people out there where you should be disabled. You really, you can't live on that, man. And plus, it's good to keep moving and just, for targets, sitting around and, just thinking about this stuff isn't always the best. I mean, if you got time off, fine. But I personally want to keep moving because it helps me. It really does. And I would suggest that to all targets. If you can find employment, if you can find any kind of work or something to distract yourself, or you're making, any type of progress, improving your financial scenario, do it because it will help. Everybody's got at least 12 to 15 hours in a day, and sitting around twiddling your thumbs where you've got expenses, you've got bills and stuff, it doesn't work out. And they like that. They like to box you into the place where you're afraid to leave the house. You have that agoraphobia as a new target or whatever, or you just feel like giving up. If nothing else, they'll just use that strategy to put you on an emotional roller coaster, or minimize what you're dealing with. There's always plausible deniability that surrounds the attacks that targets deal with, and you'll be minimized or whatever. And some of it is just psychological, and it's done in a way where just when the target is starting to kind of heal from the trauma, they'll come in and they'll do it again, right? Or they'll do it incrementally for that crescendo effect. So they can get you into that place where you finally blow up or hurt somebody or whatever, and it's just having a place to get together and talk with people and get affirmation and hear about other people and know that you're not alone is important. Some of that is just canceled out by that. But, the gaslighting involves that minimization. And a lot of times it's just a suggestion of what is happening, what the target is dealing with if they're breaking into your house or whatever. They don't have to drug you or destroy something or whatever. They just the fact that they're in there, the fact that they can get in your house, whether you're home and asleep or something, they really freak you out, or whether you're afraid to leave because they're coming in there and doing stuff and messing around. A lot of targets will deal with what seems to be real low level stuff, but you don't know what they're doing. You don't know if they're putting cameras in there. You don't know who's watching you. You don't know if you're on the dark web. You don't know what's going on, man. The only thing you know is you're getting this stuff from everywhere, and the joke's on you and everybody's entertainment, and you're just trying to survive. And that gaslighting involves that incremental attack methodology. And if nothing else, the people that are around you, they're not supposed to see a lot of this. So when you finally react, or you finally get paranoid or whatever's going on, to them, it just looks like mental illness. To them, it looks like you're weak or whatever. You got to deal with the stigma of all that stuff. And it's frustrating for targets to deal with that. Not only is it draining, it makes you wonder what these people are getting out of this. And we've talked about that. Some of it's really creepy, to where it's like they're feeding on your loosh. They're feeding on your fear, on your anxiety, or they're getting off on controlling you, or it's just sadistic fun. And it's good for us to get together, and I think that cancels a lot of it out. And when targeted individuals help each other, it makes a difference. It cancels it out. It cancels out the emotional stuff. It cancels out the isolation and deprivation, and it can also cancel out the financial impact. And I think that for targets out there who have YouTube channels, not only is it good for your testimony, it's interesting for us as targets to hear your story, or at least a version of it if you want to keep some of that switched around, like I said, just to see who's messing with you, to see if they really know. That's okay to switch it up a little bit, and just to give advice, to give affirmation to people. And I think that, for people to have a way for them to get help financially, maybe a way to donate to their channels, nothing wrong with that. As far as the monetization aspect of YouTube, I mean, they take a pretty big cut of stuff, and even super chats and stuff like that. I don't do that. I have not monetized this channel for a reason. I don't do super chats. I don't do that kind of stuff. I think they get like 40% or something. It's like ridiculous, man. They really rake it in. But for people out there who are targets, even if you just have, some very, I don't know, interesting testimony or something like that, it's important. I check it out. I like looking at stories that targets tell, or their experiences or whatever, things they've been through, things they're worried about, things that are solutions. what they've done that works for them, and so on and so forth. And if we could, create a type of network that way with acceptable ways for people to, get donations, I mean, eh, you know, I think with GoFundMe, it's like dollars, that if somebody sends, like a donation, it's like $1 or $2 or something. It's not very much. I can't remember what the percentage is, but that's not too bad. There's probably better ways out there, and I'd appreciate that information. But trying to sync all these things together and getting them to work with, your bank account and all that stuff, it's just, once you get it set up, if it's not too bad, GoFundMe's not too bad. It's a good option. Some people like other platforms, but whatever. I think it would be a good idea for all targets to do that, and also to be leery about people, who are trying to collect money for lawsuits. And supposedly, if people are telling you that there's a lawyer working on something, if it's not pro bono, it's bullshit. Okay, I've mentioned that before. There's people in the target individual community that are asking for donations that are just full of it, man. Oh, we got this lawsuit thing, or we're trying to create a commune. We're going to accept donations because we're going to, build this little fun land for targets or whatever. And then they're flipping their stories and, well, I think I'm going to leave now, and or this didn't pan out, or I don't know what's going on, or you know what? I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about targets who are dealing with things. And, you're out there in society and you see people panhandling and they need help or whatever. And, some of them are doing drugs. Some of them are healthy enough to work and they're out working. And I don't respect that. Okay. Every now and again, you might be, dealing with a targeted individual. But if I see somebody who needs money or whatever, and I feel bad for them, and it's obvious that they can't work or something else is going on, I don't have a problem with giving them a little bit of money. And I also wouldn't have a problem with targets out there who are dealing with stuff that I consider legitimate, and I'm going to know the difference too. By the way, on the Facebook page, Harassment Support Group 911 on Facebook, there's been people that come in there that I haven't accepted the friend request because I don't think they're legitimate and they've been flagged. I've been trying to keep it a safe place. But, people talk about getting a community together and stuff like that. That'd be the way to do it. You hook up with people are genuine targets. They've got genuine testimonies that are believable. You don't have to show your face, but just, share some of your testimony. If you want to flip it around a little bit, that's fine. Um, and, make a way for everybody to connect. And that's how we're going to do this realistically. Okay. Realistically, we're separated sometimes by hundreds, thousands of miles, maybe even in other countries and stuff like that. But we can still give each other support. We get in the live stream, we can talk in real time. You guys can send me ideas for videos and stuff like that. It's a powerful way to cancel out the deprivation and isolation that targets deal with and to connect people together that are legitimate. Okay, it is a risk. There's going to be people that try to infiltrate or whatever, but you can usually sniff them out. The banding together in that way, I think it's realistic. I think we got something going on here, and I'm enjoying it. I also expect that people are going to attack, but you know what? You got to take the good with the bad. And it's like I always say, if you're a target, I would love to have the privilege of hearing some of the things that you've gone through to benefit from your experiences and wisdom, and other targets would too. So, creating this little network of people, I think it's cool if nothing else, because it sucks to be isolated. When I first experienced gangstalking, I had no idea what was going on, and I lived that way for decades. And I don't want any other target to have to deal with that. And as far as I know, this is really the only way we can accomplish this stuff. We're separated, like I said, sometimes by thousands of miles, and we'll use this technology to our advantage and create a network of support and healing for targeted individuals. And like I always say, if you guys have any prayer requests, of course, mine. I'm dealing with health problems, and I'm also dealing with this little scenario here, and some other financial setbacks or whatever. And if nothing else, I would love the prayers. Prayer works. So please put your prayer requests in the comments. I can address it in a live stream. I'm probably going to be doing one here pretty soon, maybe even tonight. You never know. Sometimes that's the way it works. And if you have ideas for videos, man, put them in there. Make sure to hit the like button. I never say that, but hit the like button. Share these videos with other people because targets need information. They need your experience. They need support, and they also need prayer for what they're dealing with. Guys, be good to yourselves. Be safe.